Well, everyone, we've come a long, long way. At the beginning of this week, I noticed that we were nearing 500 subscribers. We were around 490, and we'd already reached that incredibly quickly because I expected that y'all would get us there in about another month, but all of you exceeded my expectations. I blink. It's the end of the week, and we are now at over 500 subscribers. So immediately, as I was logging in and looking at YouTube and just talking to you guys in chat, and it's great having conversations with you guys. Y'all know I really enjoy it, and it's great to see your feedback. I looked through my videos, and I wondered to myself, why? How? How exactly did you guys get us there so quickly? And then I happened to see these numbers right there and right there. Oh, by the way, definitely check out this video right here. Highly recommend it. Straight facts here. My point is this. First off, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. But at the same time, it's been a heck of a ride getting here with y'all. And now that we've hit 500, I've got something really special planned on the horizon. But the thing is, I think I owe you guys a service first. Because all of you got us here. And clearly, what you're most hyped to see is what I'm most hyped to play. And that's Sonic P-06. So, with that being said, you guys want more P-06? You got more P-06!
Coming from Dr. Eggman's base. Our last communication with our agent was 26 hours ago. We expect an immediate rescue. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Understood. Initiating the mission now.
What's going on, guys? Lightning Thunderbolt here, and welcome back to Sonic the Hedgehog Project 06 by Chaos X, in case for some reason you guys weren't familiar with that right now. So, thank you for bearing with me for that long, rather interesting intro. I hope you guys appreciated it. But anyway, we're back here playing P-06, and that's clearly because you guys had a heck of a lot of appreciation for it, so how could I ignore it? But, you know, I gotta be real with you guys. I wasn't quite sure what I could really do with regards to P-06 because I played it a lot, and I was actually worried that you guys were getting a little bit tired of it. So truth be told, I wasn't quite sure what I could really do. I wasn't quite sure what else I can really give you guys with this because we'd done speedruns, we'd done 100% playthroughs, and I was worried that I was oversaturating the channel, but clearly the game and in addition the content specifically on my channel as well has been growing in popularity. So honestly, you guys have been appreciating the content so much. I've heard everyone saying that they wanted to see more P-06 content. And I thought, well, I've been speedrunning riders so much, especially with the World Grand Prix coming up on this Sunday around noon Eastern. Definitely tune into that to see us come out to see us compete. But I haven't been running the P-06 speedruns as much, and I would like to give you guys another one. But I'm a little rusty and out of practice right now. So probably in the near future. I've covered pretty much all the content, so I'm not really sure what I can do. But then it hit me. I think what we appreciate most about this game is simply how beautiful and amazing it is, and how much fun it is to simply enjoy it, to just talk about it. So that's what we're here to talk about today. This video, what we're going to be doing today, this venture through P-06, we're just going to go through our 100% file and have some fun. And what we're here to talk about is the amazing gift that Project 06 is, and the importance of the adventure formula. So, let's get started then. So now, all of you, I guess what we're going to be covering today is basically the idea that we all know Project 06 is amazing, but I don't think through the gameplay I've really gone through. I mean, I've shown by example, but I don't think I've been able to go in depth as to why it's so amazing. So let's go through these details bit by bit here. Now these were all in previous builds, as you know, all of these upgrades. But truth be told, it's not just the gauge and all of the extras. I mean, you already know with that, but we're starting with the basics here. So just right off the bat, what we have to cover right away is the idea that when you go up against enemies now in P-06, spin jump. If you just tap it, you kill an enemy. If you hold it, you can kill an enemy from underneath. If you drop onto an enemy, that was my fault. If you drop onto an enemy, you can kill it. This is a basic fundamental property of Sonic games. But you might be asking yourselves, why is that so important? It's because it's just a basic fundamental property. And this was present actually up until Sonic 06 was released. And that's honestly unfortunate. Now, you guys may have seen this in my coverage of Sonic Colors Ultimate. But honestly, it started... I don't think it was ever completed in Sonic 06, so we don't know what it was originally meant to be like. I think that P-06 is a pretty good example of what it was supposed to be. But you might be asking why I'm just obsessing over something as simple as spin jumping onto an enemy. Because you can't do it anymore in modern Sonic games. That's a problem. And we need to be talking more about this. I mean, people have talked about it in video reviews, but the fact that you can simply do this and be perfectly fine, that you have a hitbox on your jump, and the fact that the current SEGA employment hasn't figured out that that's absolutely necessary. If we see Sonic Frontiers when it's released, and it doesn't have that basic fundamental necessity, we have a problem. There's another thing too. The fact that they think they need to make a 3D game, they need to put it in 2D. And if we look at P-06, it exemplifies everything a 3D Sonic game should be. Not only in its moveset, its momentum, but namely the fact that it's fully in 3D. It doesn't need 2D sections to navigate. There's no advantage to that, really. And it also shows the example of separate button mapping and how significant that is. Because normally, light dash would be mapped to the spin dash button, which is bounce. So you just would bounce down and you would fall to your death if there was a bottomless pit. But the fact that Chaos had the mind to do what really should have been done in a natural evolution of these adventure games, which was map it to a separate button, triangle in my case. You jump dash, and you snap right to this line. You're not going to fall. It's flawless. And it's not only that, the idea of adding in momentum, the fact that spin dash momentum carries all of this extra stuff. And, of course, the action gauge. We need to talk about this, too. Because the idea that, boost, and I mean, I know this is a bad example, but with the blue gem, so I guess I shouldn't really show that one off, because that is basically adding in boost. But you don't need it because you have spin dash and so many other moves. And not only that, it's everything is a hitbox. It's not just homing attack. You can jump, you can bounce into enemies. Bounce works. You can slide. That counts as a hitbox. You can flip kick, and okay. All right, apparently that one's not a hitbox. Apparently you're vulnerable to that. So bad example. Maybe that was because that didn't take priority. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I think you're vulnerable in there. There has to be someone who's a vulnerability, of course. But the fact that you have so many different options. So many different options to take out the enemy. And you don't need, you have your momentum, you have your combat, and it's honestly, it's speed-based platforming, exploration, and combat. Those are the 3 key factors of an ideal Sonic game. And P-06 exemplifies that perfectly. And honestly, we don't have that in modern Sonic games. You wonder why people complain so much about the modern Sonic games. It's not just the story stuff, which, you know, we won't even talk about how childish the stories have been recently and why the serious stories need to come back. We'll get to 06's story in a moment, of course. But just gameplay-wise, it's just, you know, having all those options, having that balance in gameplay, that feels good. That's why it's important. That's why the fans are currently carrying the fan base, and why Sega needs to listen more to that. I don't know if you guys saw recently, but there was the video that I think the Crushing 30s, which Johnny Gioeli performed with, I think it was the Chalkeaters. Is that the band? But yeah, that's honestly a really great song. But as a Sonic fan who was born in the 90s and is almost in his Crushing 30s right now, you know, the song really does speak to you because, you know, you're starting to like get up there in years. I mean, I'm still pretty young, to be honest with you. It's like, you know, I'm not that old, right? But like you're starting to feel your age when Sonic games are making you feel old, and you start to feel like you're too old for Sonic games. But that's the thing, Mario and Zelda, like they get games that are for everyone, appropriate for children, but longtime fans of the games, adult fans, can still play them without being mocked. So why is it that Sonic fans have to be mocked? We need to have open discussions about this, and we need to bring this to Sega's attention. Because they shouldn't have this mentality of like, oh, aren't you too old for Sonic games? Because Crushing 30s actually covered it perfectly. It's giving us this idea of like, yeah, we're getting up there in age, and you know, it's not like we can just only play video games for the rest of forever. It's like we got bills to pay, we got stuff to do. But the truth of the matter is, you know, we still love playing Sonic games. But at the same time, it's something, that animation that goes with it is something memeable. Like, we don't want to feel something memeable. I'm sorry. I should learn to talk slower. We're at a point now where we don't really want to, you know, we shouldn't really be forced to give up Sonic. And Sonic, at this point, he shouldn't be making us feel like he himself is being dragged down and falling on his face, because it's like, yeah, real life can get you down sometimes. And when you're getting, you know, in your 30s or close to that, you start to feel that. But there's nothing cringe and nothing wrong with being a Sonic fan when you're in your 30s, because the same thing as being a Mario or Zelda fan in your 30s. The only difference is that Sega is not delivering on the official games. Sonic is not supposed to be some memeable character that is like, oh yeah, I understand you guys because I'm going through the same thing. And to a degree he is. But that's the thing. He shouldn't be someone that's like mirroring our reality. He should be this pinnacle that allows us to, this beacon that allows us to escape our reality. Not forever, but just for a little while, just to escape the frustrations of the day. For just a little bit, in a healthy way. That's what Sonic games used to be. And that's what the feel was back in 2006, and why this game was so pivotal. But it's not really like that anymore, you guys. And admittedly, that's a problem. And we can't just be memeing and saying, oh, Sonic is only a meme, and anyone who likes Sonic has trash taste. Because it's not true. It's complete BS, and I'm not going to stand for that kind of behavior anymore. Mock me if you want to mock me, literally the majority of the internet, but I don't care anymore. Sonic's a good franchise. You can't convince me otherwise, and I'm going to keep liking what I want to like. And you know what? I've got 500 plus other people who seem to think I'm not alone in that assumption, in that fact. And to be honest with you, I got the feeling that there are even more out there. More who have yet to see this content, probably who haven't subscribed, who I hope will subscribe if you agree with this. But at this point, I'm sorry. I'm rambling a bit, so I should get into it. The meter. Normally, reserved for only boost, right? But boost is like a bonus in this game. Like, meter was reserved, like, ask yourselves this. The best Sonic games had meter, and what were those games? Sonic Heroes, Team Blast, Shadow the Hedgehog, Hero Shadow and Dark Shadow in the gauges. Sonic 06, the action gauge, fully refined in Sonic the Hedgehog P-06. Sonic and the Secret Rings, while not fully refined in terms of its gameplay, the Soul Gauge. And of course, Sonic and the Black Knight, a more refined game with better Soul Gauge. I understand, Sonic, I'm sorry. But by not linking boost to a button, you free up Sonic's moveset to do jump, spin kick, spin dash, bounce, all these other moves. and you can reserve the meter for what it's supposed to be reserved for, which is not some baby boost that makes us go in a straight line. It's reserved for ultimate techniques, techniques that we can use to have a wide variety of options for combat, to give us a wide variety of range of motion, to give us like other options to get out of trouble, to give us other combat options, to destroy a crap ton of enemies in a pinch situation, to give us better defense options, to give us better attack options, and to give us stuff that's outright fun and otherwise just breaks the game. Because you know what? It doesn't matter if it makes it easier. It's fun to do that sometimes. And of course, these guys haven't made a return in a while. Power-ups. You don't see those in modern Sonic games, and no, the Wisps don't really count as power-ups. They're just an alternative platforming method. But the idea of having like rings, shields, invincible, speed shoes, and not just like additional rings, it means something to have these power-ups. Because it's exciting when you get like an extra shield and you have like an extra method of protection. It's exciting when you finally get an invincible and you can just plow through enemies with not a care in the world. It feels good. It's part of what makes a Sonic game a Sonic game. I need to stop losing rings like an idiot if I want to prove my point. But honestly, that was my fault. But everyone will, you know, that's another thing. Everyone will, like, you know, see me losing rings in that moment, and, you know, the naysayers will simply go, oh, well, he's trying to prove a point, but in reality, he got hit there, so that must mean the game is bad. No. In that moment, I was bad at the game. And so many other players out there just say, oh, this game is bad. No, it's not bad. You're just bad at it. Get good. You don't have that complaint with other games, and you think simply because, like, you know, Sonic has this, like, control system that isn't ideal for you, that means the game is not good. And nothing could be further from the truth. Every game has rules and a certain, like, movesets. So you just need to learn to master them all. And I think there's something else we need to touch on. Multiple playable characters. Chad was playable in Forces, but he had the same moveset as Sonic. But this time, see, doesn't have bounce. He has, you know, some of the similar moves, but, you know, he's got some different moves. He doesn't have the bounce. And of course, you know, just like your base moveset can play the same for most characters, but the reality is just having a lot of differences, some subtle differences in each character's moveset, which usually rely on some of the extra moves, and it can be a bit more drastic in the playstyle changes, such as Knuckles, but it frees up a lot of possibilities, such as with different ultimate techniques, such as, of course, Chaos Boost. Which, of course, adds on a lot of variety for the moveset. And, like, you know, upgrading and unlocking extra abilities, that's cool too. That's good, you want that. And not only that, like the 100% rewards, the unlockable super transformations. Just having, like, all of these extra, like, bits of replay value, it matters. Now, SEGA found this out later with, you know, adding in Supersonic into, like, colors and generations and Lost Worlds for replay value. But truth be told, it's like, you know, just adding in Supersonic alone doesn't, like, add enough for replay value. If the base game is bad, such as the case with Forces, then it's not going to mean much. So, like, we need these extra characters. We need all this extra replay value. We need more variety. We need Knuckles to be playable again. Like, he has spin jump. He can destroy enemies with spin jump too. He's got extra punch combos. Because these combos are a bit quicker and harder to land, you have more forgiveness with, like, the iframes. You have, like, better climbing, better attacks with, like, the drill dive, like, just representing, like, the adventure formula, Adventure and Adventure 2, like, what made 3D Sonic games good in the first place. And many people say, oh, it's debatable, it's arguable, but this formula worked, and there was no reason to stop it. And of course, you know, with other characters like Silver here that were new, it's like, you know, Chaos didn't have much to go on, but, you know, he interpreted it in his own way. It's like giving him the better run, giving him the teleport dash that you could hold, giving him like a projectile that actually makes his combat like tolerable and fun. And then like Omega, you know, he had like one game that he was, you know, his first game that he was playable in, he based it more off of heroes rather than like seeing what he had with like 06. It's like he stayed true to the 06 formula. But you know, this, when I saw like the Gatling guns mode, which was like representative of the cutscene with Mephiles, I mean, that's insane. He took out like the jank of the spamming hover, of course, but what he added in its place was a more refined moveset, and that means the world. And I think that's the main problem with Sega today. It's like they don't understand the importance of refinement. They don't, and that's important. And just, you know, fully 3D games and just how good things felt overall. It's a problem that they don't get this anymore. So I think the fact that there are fans out there who are carrying this franchise right now, who still remember what was important, who still believe that Sonic is good because of what I believe to be the golden age of games in terms of like overall gameplay. Like story-wise, it lasted until about 2009. But ultimately, from 91 to 2006, that was the golden age of Sonic games, baby. That was the good stuff. And, you know, it bothers me that it's so difficult to get that back. Now, I could ramble on forever about, you know, why it's important and why it needs to come back, but you guys already know this. So let's just let our gameplay do the talking, as I like to say. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys like some practicality with I guess some speedrun strats and some basic strats. Because if you're running through Sonic P-06 for the first time, like, and it's your first playthrough of Sonic 06 ever, it can be a bit intimidating, but it's good to know how to use some of the gems and your basic techniques for like playing through it. And those of you who've seen my playthroughs, like, yeah, you've gotten a pretty good feel for that. But with Jump Dash, we're gonna just put that to straight for a moment, just to show you some of the techniques. I don't usually like to do straight Jump Dash, but I'll show you some speedrun strats as well. But anyway, I already demoed, like, of course, the practicality of Green Gem. But, you know, going into more detail, like, I don't think you guys understand. At level 1, like, it's a singular hit and it has some range. So, like, we go over here. Doesn't have a lot of range. But it doesn't do as many hits as fast. By level 2, you're already getting some more range and some more attacks. Right? And then by the time you hit level 3, max level for this, it's a multi-hit, and it can take out most enemies with a single tornado. And of course, you have the option now to jump into the air and execute it more quickly. You can even bounce after, jump dash after it. You have a lot of different options. So there aren't a lot of opportunities where Sonic is vulnerable. This is a good technique. And it's especially good because, watch this. It reflects projectiles. That is an incredibly good idea. It has so much practicality, and that's going to serve you incredibly well in levels like Aquatic Base, because that, like, Green Gem and Yellow Gem are pretty much your bread and butter. Because Green Gem is attack, Yellow Gem is defense. So now, of course, at level 1, the gauge drains pretty fast. It takes a little bit of energy to initially activate the gauge, to activate the Thunder Guard. This, of course, pulls in rings. If you get hit, it takes some energy out of the gauge. However, by level 3, at this point, it doesn't drain very fast at all. Now, it still drains a little bit, but Sonic's a game about momentum. He could make it OP and just, like, keep it at no drain like he did in the previous builds. But, you know, you keep destroying enemies, you're gonna get that energy back, no problem. And that's the thing. Before, in the original game, it didn't act like a shield, because you still took damage from most attacks. But in P-06, Chaos X refined it, so if you run through enemies, oh no, I took some damage. Oh no, I took some damage again. But that's okay. It acts as a shield, and you can just tank that damage. so you don't have to worry if there's a crap ton of enemies around you. If you've upgraded your Thunder Guard, you can just plow through them. That's a good mechanic. It's practical because it rewards you for finding and collecting these upgrades. And additionally, there was like this mechanic of buying upgrades at the store in Sonic 06. However, in Sonic P-06, he puts the upgrades in the level, and that, of course, brings me to like the significance of the adventure formula, which is like finding those upgrades in the level and utilizing them at the right time, feeling like they were put there at a specific time, and then you can go back to other levels and explore their practicality. It's refreshing. It genuinely feels good. And then, of course, there's like additional attack gems, such as the white gem, of course. The homing smash, of course, which not only gives you additional attack powers, but platforming powers as well. Because the white gem is meant to be an incredibly powerful attack. Once it's at level 3, you can charge it and then basically one-shot enemies. That's the power of homing smash. And it's not just that. This is why I turned straight jump dash back on, because it actually provides an incredible skip method called the triple jump dash. Because you already know about the fact that if you get a little bit of momentum from your spin dash initially. If you jump while holding the button, you can perform a higher jump, basically transitioning your horizontal momentum into vertical momentum. This is what I like to refer to as the spin leap. It's commonly referred to as the upward XA action. So what you're going to be doing here, like your bread and butter is like with the straight jump dash, which is what most people will use. You'll have the XA, which is your spin leap to gain more height, and you'll also have the bounce cancel. Now, why that's significant is because when you bounce and homing attack right away, or jump dash right away, it basically sticks you to the ground, because straight jump dash, it unfortunately stops your speed, although it lets you keep a little bit with Chaos X's upgrade. That's something else I want to talk about. 06, this was one of the few things that I actually did wrong that was kind of not redeemable, but like the jump dash that just stops your momentum, which is why I'm so glad he put the Legacy jump dash in there. Because with the Legacy jump dash, it preserves the Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2 style jump dash, where you can simply, keep your momentum afterwards. Now, I suppose it leaves you vulnerable after that, but I mean, you were going to be vulnerable regardless. I like the jump dash where you can keep your momentum, use it better as a platforming option. Now, in the modern Sonic games, you just jump dash and you lose all your momentum. So in addition to not having a proper jump hitbox that doesn't hit enemies the way it's supposed to, which is, and I think I need to specify this. So when Sonic jumps in a modern Sonic game, he jumps and then he uncurls. What happens is he has a somewhat unreliable active hitbox until he reaches right there, the apex of his jump. As soon as he uncurls, he's vulnerable and he can't attack enemies. The reality of the situation is what Sonic's jump hitbox should look like is basically how it does in P-06 and the adventure formula. His hitbox should be active and take priority over most enemy basic hitboxes for the entire arc of the jump, from the moment he leaves the ground on jump until he hits the ground again. That is how long it's supposed to last. And I know I might be nitpicking by saying how important this is, but SEGA hasn't done it in a while, and it really, really takes away from the quality of Sonic games if you don't have that basic qualification. It doesn't even feel like a Sonic game anymore. And we should be talking about this, like we shouldn't be even having to have this discussion. It's a no-brainer. It should just be in the game. But anyway, going back to some like practical techniques, like you have the spin dash jump, which is jumping from spin dash. That gives you like more momentum. You have the vertical momentum with the spin dash leap. And the reason that bounce cancel is significant, which is the down XA move, so to speak, or down X square X in my case, is you jump dash, you can like bounce and jump dash again. So you not only get extra jump dash, basically 2 jump dashes out of a single jump, 1, 2. You basically bounce and then you can jump dash a second time. This is also helpful for keeping your momentum, because if you want to like say spin leap, jump dash, bounce and then jump dash on the I can do it right. Jump dash, bounce and then jump dash when you hit the ground. You can keep your momentum like that, and that's why it's important to master that in speedruns. Because you can just kind of do stuff like this, and then bounce, and jump dash, and then just go back into spam dash again. And that's also significant too, like the significance of the spin dash, and like how it carried momentum. And the fact that like spin dash has now become boost for Sonic, and I think that's stupid. I think we need to bring back this original 3D spin dash and the fully 3D levels. It doesn't feel right without it. And of course the significance and the practicality that I was going over with the white gem, you can even perform a triple jump dash, because you can basically spin leap, jump dash. Oh, I'm sorry. You can spin leap, jump dash, bounce cancel. Oh, wait, is it not off that? Hold on, I haven't practiced this strat as much. Spin leap. Maybe it's homing smash, jump to... not quite getting it. I think you can do 3. Oh, I think it's all with bounce. So you're using bounce to cancel it. So spin leap, jump dash, what? Spin leap, jump dash, bounce cancel white gem, bounce cancel jump dash. So you basically get 3 jump dashes. See what? Spin leap, 1, 2, 3. And you can get a lot of distance just off of that. So like you build up speed, spin leap, 1, 2, 3. And it's all about bounce cancels there. I think you want to do the white gem last, because it's like, you can just... Oops, sorry. You go into the spin leap, you jump dash, bounce cancel. Oh wait, can I not do it that time? I might have done it out of order. Oh yeah, you can't use, so you have to, okay. White gem has to be second. So the order has to be spin leap. Sorry. Why am I not getting spin leap? Spin leap, jump dash, homing smash bounce cancel, and then regular bounce cancel. And that's how you get 3. See? 1, 2, 3. And that's how you get some extra distance. And I'll show you practically how this can be used later, because that's likely helpful in Radical Train as well. The Sky Gem, of course, the more you upgrade that one, the further it can fly. And this can help for just, dealing with sections you don't want to deal with. And overall breaking invisible walls, which of course helps with fun speedrun skips. Because sometimes, like in speedruns, you're supposed to break the game. So that can definitely be fun. I like how Sonic also has some attack hitbox while with the Sky Gem now, especially when he's flying through the air. Makes it much more practical. Because you'll notice that Sonic gets a hitbox when he flies, although when he lands, he's vulnerable. So you have to be like prepared to go basically right into a spin dash. And I actually forget if you can go out of it. If you can like spin dash cancel or bounce cancel out of it. Oh, whoops. No, you can't. So that's good because you can just throw the gem. You can already be spamming your spin dash button, and then the second you land, you'll just go into the spin dash again or bounce wherever your hitbox ends. So that should prevent you from having windows of vulnerability. And then we get into the outliers, which are the red gem. Not the most practical because it slows down time. Upgrading the gauge, of course, reduces the amount of energy loss you have. It's good for like actually slowing down the clock, because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice the time, it does slow down. Like even the in-game clock slows down, so it can be helpful for S ranks. But there's not a lot of practicality for that, since you're going to be burning a lot of energy with that. The blue gem has a little bit more practicality, because you can get some boost speed from this. At level 2, you're going to get it's going to last a little bit longer. You get a little more boost speed. And then, of course, at level 3, when it's maxed out, you actually have a hitbox on it. It can serve as a temporary boost, and it gives you boost speed. But you still have to earn your speed in this. It doesn't just give it to you for free. See, it lasts a bit longer, and you have an active hitbox, which means you can hit enemies, of course. So, if I come over here and I just want to ram this guy, that's an active hitbox. So you do technically have boost in this game, but you don't just hold it for free. It just, takes a little bit of energy, and, you use it at practical times. You mainly want to use it for, like, areas where you're, like, running up a wall when you want to get, like, some momentum. If you're, like, standing still, and you're just like, oh, I'm not going to be able to, like, run up this wall, so then you just, use that to gain instantaneous momentum. But it's used more sparingly. It's not like an obnoxious presence where you have to use it all the time. And then that, of course, brings us to the last gem, which is the purple gem. Now, this one is interesting because it does provide some other game-breaking skips as well. But you only get like one extra jump when you get to the when you're at level 1. Level 2, you can get 2 extra jumps, and by level 3, pretty self-explanatory, 3 extra jumps. Now, I forget what you can do to act out of this, but this is quite helpful for skips. And you can bounce cancel out of it too. So what you could technically do is jump off of something with like a spin dash leap, well timed. Not do that. 2, 3, bounce cancel. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get to the white gem in time. So you want to go to the white gem actually. So the way you can get like maximum distance out of that would probably be gain speed with spam dash, spin leap, 1, 2, 3, bounce cancel white gem, bounce cancel jump dash. You see that? You see how far I got? Which is crazy. And like that's the importance of linking gauge to something besides boost. There's so much practicality here. There's so much that you can do. And do I even need to get started on the rainbow gem? Because it's, you know, Shadow's like equivalent is like the full power chaos boost, but the rainbow gem, people. The idea of Supersonic being playable in standard stages. I saw someone comment about how, oh, having him in the game makes it too easy. That's not what it's about. It's not about whether the game is too easy or too hard without Supersonic. It's just the principle of the game being good, and if it's good, to really get the most out of it and just enjoy it, because again, if a game's not fun, it's not worth playing, competitive or otherwise. So the idea of having a fully powered Supersonic that can just, you know, one-shot enemies, that has like all of these extra abilities, that it just feels so good to play. But, oh, hey buddy, you're looking a little worse for wear right there. Oh, this is why it's the test stage, because he, yep, he's, that's kind of interesting. Oh no, he's back to normal now. But yeah, you know, being completely invincible, one-shotting enemies, and of course, you know, gaining abilities like, you know, you already have, that's basically spin leap height. Oh, I already ran out of rings. Wow. But that's basically, it was basically spin leap height at level 3. Here, I'll show it off some more. And of course, snapping right to the spline. You love to see it. But yeah, you know, at level 1, you know, you're invincible, and you have extra speed, but you don't have too many extra abilities. You know, at level 2, you gain more height in your jump. Level 3, you're at maximum height, so spin leap, look how high that supersonic spin leap is. And of course, simply touching enemies just one-shots them. I was touching the stun hitbox, of course. And of course, at level 3, you gain the light arrow attack, which is, you know, a reference to the final boss ability that you get. So not only does that look cool, and it's able to just plow through loads of enemies. Now, of course, you can't use any other gems as Supersonic, but it just, he has so many extra abilities, it doesn't even matter. And you can steer it too. The fact that you have like movement in the Mach speed sections as well. And of course, getting the max power of the gauge, and then just, you know, you can use it for platforming too, which you've seen in a lot of my Radical Train speedruns as well. But, you know, just all the extra abilities that you get, you know, with all that you have, with Shadow's Chaos Boost, and, like, you know, how many extra abilities that grants you. Just, you know, coming over here, being able to go through tons of enemies. Getting the level ups. Being able to, like, you know, then chain attacks. Gaining extra abilities from that. And then, of course, this. See, that's a gauge move right there, not boost. Let's talk about Chaos Blast as well. And people say Shadow the Hedgehog is a bad game. I was playing this earlier today with my friend Exortile, and I have to say something about this. People say Shadow's a bad game, but no one talks about how Yuji Naka went tirelessly through every single level and put this spline that spanned the entire level, that had the commands of, oh, if Shadow has meter and he presses the activate button, enter the spline here. If he still has meter, keep him in the spline. When he has no meter left, have him exit the spline. And this spanned every single level where he just went along that chaos control line and got shot out when he didn't have any energy left. You could even exit it at will by simply pressing the GameCube X button. And it's like, the amount of coding that takes. Like, back then people were just like, oh no, it's a bad game and that's all there is to it. No, that's not all there is to it. No one appreciated the intricacies of that. I think we as fans, to a degree, were to blame for not seeing, and to be honest with you, I was never one of these fans. I always saw the intricacies back then. Not that I was perfect or anything, but I was one of those fans, like many of you, who saw the intricacies of all those Golden Age games, and seeing how little effort, how low budget the Sonic games are now. It just makes me unhappy. I want the games to go back to the way they were, like 2006 and prior. And not talking about like Sonic 06 specifically, but seeing what this could have been and seeing that it was like meant to be a tribute to just the adventure formula in general. Even something like the adventure jump ball, having all these extra effects and all the extra stuff that was supposed to be with the game. And like this, we're talking about Shadow's full power chaos boost. The idea that it's like a burst option, basically a Kaioken where you can plow through tons of enemies, completely invincible, without a care in the world to just keep the meter going. It's like, you know, a super form that burns out faster, but like you don't actually lose meter from like chaos abilities, you just like lose it at a constant rate. And of course it freezes with Chaos Blast as well, the extra effects, you don't lose any meter for that. And it's just, the idea that he simply saw a final cutscene and was like, you know what, instead of Super Shadow, I'm going to do something creative and give him a super form equivalent, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to use. And I liked that. That was unique. SEGA would have never thought of something like that. It's just incredible to see that. And then this thing, where you can't act at all if you act, like the punishment for like going full power, and then, you know, losing that power is like you're vulnerable for a little while. And I can't wait to see what he does with Silver. Like, he's working tirelessly every day, Chaos X and his team, of course, to, you know, get the next update out. And the thing is, like, once the Silver update is released, you know he's going to have something for Silver. Low-key, kind of hoping that you give maybe Blaze her burning form as well, but not sure if you can make that happen, because likely not a thing with the Amigo AI, but, you know, wishful thinking. I also, like, you know, with Silver, like, you have, of course, I should, like, reset the enemies real quick. But with Silver, of course, even just the way he is now, with the few refinements, because he's probably incomplete, the few refinements that he has now, it's like, I mean, I think that can actually damage enemies now, but I need to check. But it's like you just walk up, maybe it can't. Because I think that was supposed to do something. It's difficult to know, like, what Silver was intended to be, because that hitbox is kind of strange. You kind of have to be point blank for that, but that's okay, because you get the upgrade later in the game, where you can just jump, square, and then you can Psycho Shock. And then when they're all stunned, you can just double tap, and then you have Psychokinesis All, where you're just carrying them all around. I should probably give a better example of that. Don't use Psycho All, because then you're basically vulnerable until you throw enemies. But the point I was trying to make is that even though Silver doesn't have a spin jump, and that's okay that he doesn't have a jump in hitbox, he wasn't designed like that. I thought that was interesting that Chaos did that. But, you know, you go around stunning enemies, and then you can just Psychokinesis All, and then you just throw him. It's like that cool animation where he does that. Now, it's a double tap to do that, but you basically immediately grab everything around you within a certain range. That's very practical, because Silver's designed to be a projectile character. It works on just basic items, too. Somewhat, the range is somewhat limited, but, like, it's interesting. And, like, you know, Silver was also designed now to like have this projectile. I call it the Fusro Da because it just looks like he's kind of doing that kind of like a shout pose when he's like putting his hands forward like that. But you know, he has like the tools to just stun enemies, pick them up, and then just like throw them. There are other combat options. He's a ranged fighter, and I find that interesting. I like the fact that he's a psychic fighter as well. I like that that homes in on enemies too. It's a good addition. And then once enemies are stunned, you can like pick them up and like walk around with them. The fact that teleport dash can do all this. It's just Silver has a lot of practical options. I will say, just as a side note, a suggestion for Chaos X, I noticed that you put like up on the D-pad and the right trigger as Shadow's macro for his full power Chaos boost. So maybe up and right trigger would be Silver's super transformation. So maybe what you could do is instead of having the double tap be Psychokinesis all, you could hold down and then press right trigger. I think I've stated this in previous videos, but I think it would be something practical. Not sure if someone can get that to Chaos X or like let him know, but I'm sure he's already thought of this. Just, you know, trying to do all I can to help, obviously. But, you know, he's already done so much with Silver that makes him so much more fun to play. The running animation looks so good. Even when you just stand there, when you have the glowing in the eyes and just simply holding the Psychokinesis and like how his spines look, it's just so good. And I honestly can't wait to see what he does with Blaze. Like, I hope he does like a lot of good animations and has like a lot of practicality with like her fire tornado powers, because I'm really curious to see how she plays, and I certainly hope he does her justice. Now, Silver's a bit slower, but honestly, it's okay. Because, like, even though Sonic's a game about going fast, not every character has to be fast. There's just a bunch of different playstyles. Like, you know, Rouge, Omega, Knuckles, everyone plays differently. And, you know, Chaos also saw, like, the flaw with Tails. And we don't get to play as, like, a good Tails anymore. But, you know, Tails has, you know, it's just, of course, with, like, you know, the basic gameplay is flight, and they just gave him a projectile. And this was just because he threw the dummy rings in Sonic Heroes, and that's it. But giving him back his tail whip and the rhythm badge, he's a Beyblade again now, and that's huge. That's how he's supposed to play. That was one of his best moves from Sonic Adventure, and just bringing back a practical moveset that made it feel more similar to, like, the classic games. Adventure did this thing where it felt like the classic games in 3D. Because, like, yes, it had more movesets. Yes, it had, like, the gauge moves and all these extra moves. But you still had your basic spin jump, you still had your spin dash, and you had, like, moves that made it feel... like it still was holding true to the original games. And one could argue that, like, 06 being incomplete didn't really do that anymore. But admittedly, I think when shining at its full potential, it shows what the adventure games show, which is it has that balance of a classic Sonic game while still doing something new, unique, and, you know, bold. And you really don't see that anymore in the modern Sonic games. Unleashed, I think, might have been the black sheep of the bunch, so to speak, because I feel like with Unleashed, it still had that big world feel, and they had like a brand new gameplay style for Sonic, the boost, which eliminated his fatal flaw of not being able to maintain full speed while attacking. But the thing is, that never needed to, the whole boost thing, and like the thing of like, oh, maintain full speed while attacking, it never needed to be a thing in every single game. It just worked well for Unleashed. And I think, admittedly, Unleashed had, like, you know, that expansive world feel. It had, like, you know, the combat with the Werehog gameplay. The exploration was a bit too much, but a lot of people don't like the Werehog because, I don't know, they just don't like the appearance, and that's, take it or leave it. But the combat, they're saying, oh, it's too much like God of War. So, is that a bad thing? People talk about, oh, Sonic Frontiers is looking too much like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Are you kidding me? Are we like, even Premi is saying that. Like, guys, are we legitimately going to forget the fact that Sonic did adventure fields first? Like, not first ever. Like, everyone had, you know, adventure fields in, like, that evolution to 3D. They had, like, the hub world, and they had, like, the levels and everything. But Sonic was doing hub worlds back when everyone else was. Just because he's doing big, expansive Breath of the Wild influenced hub worlds doesn't mean that it's, like, it's, oh, he's just copying Breath of the Wild. He's just doing Sonic 06 hub worlds, but on a bigger and better scale. Like, that's what this is. And honestly, if they pull it off right, it could really work. Open world Sonic is likely something that we need, because it could bring back that feel of adventure. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but genuinely, I would like to see it happen. I would like to see it happen. But anyway, I've rambled quite a bit, and I've spent a lot of time in the test stage, so why don't we go into some levels and show off some of the practicality. I'm going to switch back to Legacy Jump Dash, just for now. And we'll show off some of the skips you can do later. But, you know, it's like, just when going through levels, like whether it's Adventure, Adventure 2, or yes, even something like 06, especially since we have P-06 now, just how iconic the set pieces feel and what you can do per level. It just feels good, you know, you're just running through these beautiful environments. You have multiple branching pathways, and you have like complete control of the level. You have a lot of options. And you know, these loops are a bit slower, but like you have the option to take them and get likely collectibles going through there. You nail those tricks, you get top path. And you know, there's always ways to get back up here, but like what I meant to do is like light dash and then jump dash there. So if you do that, you have the and then that chain jump that needs to be brought back as well. Like, you know, the jump on panel number 1, that was good. It just looked cinematic and cool, and it required you to react. Yes, you were just mashing the A button, but it was still fun, because it felt like, oh, now I need to mash the A button and react in the moment. You go off and take different paths and find hidden goodies like Invincible, and it's like, you're like, oh, there's a bunch of enemies here, so it's time for me to utilize this. And of course, using the bounce attack to prolong the action chain that you get, to get extra points. And this is why it's good to, like, you know, get that extra score that you need to get the S rank. And you chain all those actions together, and you get that huge bonus. Look at that, 7,600 points. And of course, you know, so you can like, and it's just, you know, with this extra jump dash, the Legacy Jump Dash, you're supposed to be able to have momentum off a jump dash and keep going. And it just feels good to have that back. And of course the reward for like doing good in the level, collecting all those rings, just going supersonic. And then of course it's like, you know, levels are just levels, and there's just like structure in the modern Sonic. But this, in the older games, they valued, you know, practicality and spectacle. You had these cinematic set pieces. A reference to Emerald Coast when the whale is like chasing you and breaking apart the piers, and then where you had to react and jump and stuff. And just the idea of actually getting to have multiple playable characters, and it's not just, oh, the characters are cheering me on. No, now it's like Sonic has to control this whale and prevent it from like getting out, because he needs to chase after the egg carrier. In the meantime, Tails has to work with him. I'm good at the game, by the way. Like work with him and, you know, try to make sure that the whale doesn't like take him out to sea. And he's like always got Sonic's back. And then, you know, going through these enemies, just Beyblade all of them with no problem. Alright, I'm not gonna get to like supersonic Mach speed section, but you know, the Mach speed section, you know, before you didn't really have like much control, but like it had potential. Like you don't need the boost formula to make these sections good. You can make them practical. Like you shouldn't be rewarded just for running at a basic speed. You should be going fast, and when you're going fast, you can do a lot more. You know, you have those speed lines. You can take a jump. Well, at max speed, you can just, you know, ram those enemies and not have like a care in the world. Rewarding yourself with enough speed, you can like just skip these jump ramps entirely. And it's like, you know, all about skill and stuff. You know, it's just like dodging and stuff. And there are like skips you can do. I haven't done roof launches, but I'll try to demo them too. You know, that's like what Stelmo and Fishy and a lot of the speedrunners try to do. You could never get in here initially. You can just tap jump, bounce off an enemy, and then you can get in here no problem. Dash along here, you have like movement control midair, and this loop just works regardless, even if you don't enter it from like, you know, the left side. These games had potential and they can be refined. And it shows that if the gameplay is refined, then the game feels good to play. It was just like a nice casual playthrough, and we just enjoyed it. Everything looked fluid and smooth. It felt good to play. It means something to have these fully 3D games with these expansive environments. These good set pieces actually work. And of course, there's ways you can break the game, but you don't want to be like unintentional and not have control over it. You want to be able to break the game in fun. So now I'm going to try some speedrun strats. I'll try the roof launches quickly. I've never tried it, but it'll be fun to try to pull off. Get that light dash going. The beauty of fully 3D and like alternate paths, of course. And you just kind of like do a little skip there. And of course you're not going to be able to do this all on your first try, but it's about refining that and like getting it after that. Sonic games are all half memorization, half reaction time. At least the good ones are. You can actually use the blue gem to kind of get through that faster. But on something like that up there, if you want to get up on the wall and it's like, oh, I missed it, you probably just use the blue gem to get back there. Kingdom Valley is a good example of that because you're losing momentum, but when you unlock the blue gem, it's like you don't have to worry about falling as much because you can build your own momentum from chaos energy. And it feels like more of a reward. Again, chaining actions, 7,500 points. There's always going to be some glitchy collision in Sonic games, and that's fine. But then, with Super Sonic, you of course get the reward of, faster Mach speed sections and, more speedrun strats that you can do. I think you can do this with base Sonic regardless, but I want to try it with Super Sonic so it looks good. Because the aesthetic, of like all the unlockable rewards, you can play the game however you want, and it feels fun, it feels fast, and you can be called a skilled player for getting to this point, because it's like, it can be casual, it can be fun, and it can be competitive. There's a lot of beauty in this, and it feels like it's not just P-06, it's just the adventure formula in general that makes you feel like there's something magical about it. Playing games like that make you feel like a kid on Christmas Day opening a present and you're just excited to get back to it. Playing Three Colors Ultimate just felt like you were pretending it to be, having it pretend to be something it's not. It just felt like a chore to play through. And that's not how a game should feel, especially not if it's casual. And I've seen competitive games before that suffer from being like too competitive and only focusing on competition and just the bare basics, and there's no replay value and it's not fun. So it's important to have both. Having some frame drops here, apologies. But yeah, with roof launches, if you like time it right, like here's an example of a collision launch because I didn't take the dash pad. You're flying pretty high there. So if I just do a small jump here, I didn't quite get it. But you can kind of launch off the roof there. I'm gonna try it in the next section. I might screw it up, but. And of course you could tell Super Sonic has faster speed. Yeah, can't quite get it there. I need to jump off a rock from the right side, I think. But I think there's something you can do here as well. And of course Super Sonic has the invincibility in the Mach speed sections. Now if I do this just right, oh, not quite. You need to, it's difficult to do, but you need to try to break the spline and like launch through the loop, and then you can just bounce with that speed. But obviously that takes like perfect precision because most times you will catch the spline. But anyway, I couldn't quite pull off the speedrun strats. Take a look at Stelmo's channel, and he can definitely show you that there. I'm gonna try to like mess around on Radical Train because there's a lot of different strats that you can pull off there. Sorry about that. But before that, actually, let's go into something like Crisis City. You want to talk about set pieces? '06 had a lot of iconic set pieces, and the fact that Chaos like expanded on it
Don't be late.
by doing this,
You're talking to me?
just putting in cutscenes like that, just those little extras, it just feels good. And like the snowboard sections were great, and like this could have been amazing if it was like this in the original game. You hold the jump, he has the trick animation, you get points for it. It just feels good.
It's gonna blow up.
And it's like you're having fun and you're styling, but there's also a sense of urgency because this isn't like Ice Cap where you're just out running the avalanche and then having fun. And of course you have like a speed up mechanic on it now. But there's just something that feels good about it overall. The snowboard can even hit enemies now if you jump into them. Which, you know, Chaos didn't have to do, but he put it in there just for extra style. Because when you think about it, like jumping on an enemy, why wouldn't you? And it's like Sonic in his modern games, like post 2010 and stuff, and even in Unleashed, had been designed poorly because he'd been designed almost not even as good as, like his jumps weren't even as good as like what Mario gameplay is, which Mario just falls onto an enemy and can hit them. Sonic couldn't even do that in like the modern games, and that's a problem. Sonic needs to be able to hit those enemies. He needs to be able to hit them no matter what. The advantage he has over Mario is the fact that when he goes into a spin jump, he can hit an enemy at any time because he's literally, his body is a projectile. He's a moving razor blade. And they just took that away from him simply because they're not coding in the hitbox right. And no, I'm not like making a bigger deal out of that than it is. It means something. It means something to actually pull that off right. It's not just that detail, it's all the attention to detail. And they're saying in Sonic Frontiers they're going to add in some more combat, and that's good, but let's hope they do it right. It shouldn't be too button mashy, and it shouldn't it shouldn't be impractical. And they shouldn't just like put like exploration over it, because that was Sonic's Boom's problem. To just put only exploration over it and call it good and only have like some button mashing combat. Like they can't do that. They're going to have to refine it a bit. Because you look at P-06, you look at just 06 in general, and the level design has its potential. And clearly once Chaos X got his hands on it and was able to like take all the collective knowledge of the fan base, he was able to put it all together in a way that made the game shine. To the point where it was 1/3 speed-based platforming, 1/3 combat, and 1/3 exploration. Especially in finding those gems, which like gave back like the joy of finding like new power-ups in the adventure fields and stuff, or in the just in basic gameplay. It just felt good, and that means something. It means a heck of a lot. It means a heck of a lot more than Sega gives you credit for. So whoever's like in charge there, be it Sonic Team or whatever idiotic shareholders that are like currently there that don't understand that the 90s and 2000s kids are like the longtime fans that are keeping this fan base alive. Not to discount the modern fans. Like if you like that stuff and you think there's merit to it, I agree, and I think that's great. But just modern games in general, unfortunately, it's like they've been getting too much attention lately, and it's at a point where there hasn't been enough love for like the way that Sonic was originally designed in 3D, and that needs to make a comeback. Spin dash leap with level 3 Super Sonic, you can just get right up there. But the reason we're playing Crisis City again, yeah, I mean, that's a great spectacle. Like the chain jumps, and then you're at the the tornado of fire here, and then it's like looks back at it, and you're just off on your way. And you gotta keep moving. You have to keep moving. Normally, when you're normal Sonic, you can blast those boxes out of the way. You can't hit those immobile objects because that's not gonna give you the speed that you need. And of course, you know, you need to adjust to the camera switch, of course, but that's okay. And then you're like dodging all these cars as they come at you. You lose some speed, so you're gonna have to like light dash again to keep that maximum speed up.
Here comes a billboard.
And of course that truck at the end, the unused truck and like the added spectacle of it all. Oh, hello car. You didn't get to see it through there, but you did as much as well. But like the added explosion at the end, all the attention to detail. it's not just a tribute to Chaos's ability, it's a tribute to what Sonic games used to do and what they used to make us feel. It's like, yeah, Sonic Adventure was not necessarily this perfect game, you know? But it had this feel to it. It just had this overall feel to it where it's like you had, you had the transition from the classics and you had this brand new, like, just cool feel of attitude that was there with it. And it's like it felt like it was still the classic Sonic we knew and loved, but with like a natural evolution. And games felt like they were on a natural evolution, even the ones that were like kind of bad, like Secret Rings, until 2009. And then 2010, it's like solid in terms of gameplay, and you know the story didn't matter as much because it was a good game, but it was just good enough. There's nothing wrong with Sonic Colors. But the fact that we had only good enough games, they thought, oh, that was the formula that's not broke, so we don't need to fix it. No, the adventure formula wasn't broken. You guys just didn't follow through on this game, on 06, on the critical game that you needed to. And then you thought that means we don't like the adventure formula. No, we just don't like the fact that you didn't complete a game that you had promised to be amazing. And a lot of us longtime fans that are the main ones keeping this franchise alive right now are still waiting for that. Let's go into Radical Train and talk about speedruns real quick. So we're talking about Legacy Jump Dash, and like you talk about like some really good speedrun strats. This speedrun's gonna be a little bit scuffed, but you know, you beat some enemies, you start getting this gauge up. You keep getting your rings. Go off here, jump dash to get there faster. Well, not do that. Loki could probably just go for the rainbow ring. Been a while since I attempted this run. See, and I already have enough for Supersonic, so that's good. Jump dash there. And then you just, you know, get height from bouncing off of the enemy, which you weren't able to have before. You get, okay. See, I needed a spin leap there, actually. I'm good at the game. We'll get it, don't worry. But that's the thing, it's like, still a few pop-ups here and there, but ultimately, like, there are more refinements, as you guys have seen from the run, that just allow us to, like, make this run with relative ease, especially if you practice it a couple times. Part of this is just being out of practice on my part. He goes much faster through that loop. And yeah, it's not perfect because if you miss a dash pad, it still feels somewhat slow. I spin leap. Then we switch to Rainbow Gem. Immediately destroy these guys with the Super Transformation hitbox. And then, look at that, we're already at level 3. So like switching gems, we get that practicality. Oh, well, I guess I didn't have an extra... I guess I should have bounced there. My bad. Oh, that's okay. We can get a few more rings.
Can you find a switch anywhere?
But just having enough height to bounce off of that enemy. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Did not have enough to go super. But it's about utilizing your resources perfectly, just like in a speedrun with like Sonic Gliders, which you guys have been seeing. It's all about utilizing your resources perfectly and using every move in your kit to the best of your advantage. Now, Shadow speedruns are kind of crazy. I've seen Stello and Fishy pull off some of those, and there's some pretty crazy strats that you can do with those. Because you have to be a lot more creative with the Shadow runs. I'm good at the game. But we're going to be attempting 2 speedruns here. The one is with like the purple and rainbow gem strats. Actually 3. There's 2 with purple and rainbow gem strats, and the last is with some of the white gem strats. Lost some time there, that's unfortunate. Lost a lot of time there. Missing the dash pad of the death sentence there. But yeah, now you guys get to see the full uncut labbing sessions about like what went into this run. Alright, Sonic, come on. But yeah, it's just about like not having the control feel like, you know, curved and smooth for like the spin dash and being able to use momentum properly. That feels good too.
Can you find a switch anywhere?
I gotta get ahead and help the train. There's gotta be a switch somewhere.
Hitbox, destroy these guys. Get all those chaos drives, immediately get level 3. A little scuffed there, but that's okay. And then, of course, like I said here, light arrow attack, use that for platforming practicality. Destroy that guy right away. I missed that hung attack, that's okay. We're not going for a perfect run here. And then you can kind of just, you know, light dash, try and cut this corner. Whoops. You gotta try not to do that, too. When you try to keep the speed, a short jump here, big jump, and I messed that up, too. But you got, the idea is to skip there. And you can just kind of skip over that. I'll try it one more time and see if we can get it. Anyway, we missed the sub 130, but we can probably get sub 140 despite the mistakes. Oh, not quite. Well, that's okay. You actually can just jump past that and get right to the goal ring. I think it's faster because it has like the hit collision. Looks cooler too because you're actually keeping up with the train. But yeah, a little over 140.
That was incredible.
Now, I think with Spin Leap, you could actually do some practical strats here, to be honest with you. Because what you could do is actually get your, your purple gem to max power. But then the question remains, you know, if you have enough to go super, are you going to have enough energy after that? Come on, man, just hit it when I say hit it.
The train will hit that bomb. You must make the bomb explode before the train hits it.
This is not actually Sonic 06. This is just, you know, practicing speedruns because you're going for some advanced strats here. There we go. Was that so much to ask? There we go. That's perfect. Switch to white gem. Okay, not ideal, but it works. That's the general idea. And we have level 3. Again, with refinements, we could go even faster. Get over that. Big jump. Oh, that. Oh, come on. Oh, wow. We kind of saved it with that. If we just hadn't hit that car, that would have been it. Probably not hitting the sub 130, but that would have been a pretty fast strat. Now, we're actually going to switch to straight jump dash to show you guys something else, because what you can actually do here, if you combine white, purple, and rainbow, you likely could get the ideal strat going. But you're going to need triple jump dash to pull it off. So, what we're going to do is just go back to the extras room, set our jump dash type to straight, go back into Radical Train, and then we're going to see if we can pull this off. So we need to jump dash, bounce cancel white gem, and then bounce cancel normally.
I better go help. Gotta hurry.
Okay.
Hurry up and cross the scale. There's gotta be a switch somewhere.
And there we go. Bring out rainbow. Oh, I didn't even do that. Whatever. In practice, it's not optimized, but it's fine. Oh, we can just... There we go. Bounce cancel actually worked in our favor there.
Reese's train is... Uh-oh, gotta speed up.
Not terrible. We did have a bounce, but that's okay. At that point, you just keep the maximum possible speed going, make good turns, and then go like a good time.
Almost there. Police, hang on.
All right, a little bit scuffed, but if we optimize that, that could probably be the potential 127. But you'd have to be absolutely perfect about everything, and you have to take into account like the supersonic transformation time. But anyway, obviously a little bit scuffed, but
That was incredible.
you get the idea there. I think I spent a little bit too much time on speedruns, so let's switch to something else.
I'll show you my real power.
I'm gonna go back to Legacy Jump Dash. I forgot. That's just my preferred playstyle. Straight Jump Dash you just need for certain types of skips, but the triple Jump Dash, very clean. It's just really cool to actually see stuff like that pulled off. But that's like the advantage of gauge moves and stuff. Let me get back to my point since I was like sidetracked by speedruns. For those of you who are watching stream, don't worry, we'll edit it out in the video because I ended up doing a few more attempts because I ended up going into a speedrun race. Didn't set any records, unfortunate, but like we showed some pretty cool stuff. So I'll show you guys just like briefly those strats and as I'm explaining everything. So we're going to Shadow real quick. But when we're talking about like, you know, score attack, let's go into Aquatic Base, which as you know we like had some issues with before. But in terms of talking about just how fun it is to go through a level and just enjoy it's the idea of adding in a chaos attack for Shadow too. Just, you know, extra attack shot options. That's really good. And then bring out Chaos Boost. Shadow, it's all about powering up quickly. Chaos Snap, attack faster. Chaos Boost level 2. And then, level 3, bring out Chaos Blast. Take out the enemies quickly, get max gauge. Inhibitor rings off, and now we can just take out everyone. You're dead. You're dead. You guys are dead. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I missed one. Huh. But, you know, you'll see that more later in the level. I don't care. Get a ring. That's not going to reach him. Yep. But anyway. And if you actually bring a box up here, you can actually get up there. I wonder if you could... No, Silver doesn't have a spin lead. But, oh, and a box reappears, never mind. Anyway, we go over here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, yep. If you just look around, sometimes there's an item that can help you. Invincible, and it's practical. So now, you just destroy all these guys easy. For free. Oh, hey buddy. How's it going? And then we can kind of like, you know, rely on skips, use Silver's like, box to get over here.
I'm not careful. I'll fall.
Use the environment to your advantage. Land on there, and then teleport dash across. Technically, you can just do it regardless. Psycho wall if you can't get them, always important.
So, let's split up and chase our own targets.
Oh. Okay. I like how they do add the chain jump with Shadow as well. It's glad you get to do that. If you activate a Chaos Boost, you can kind of get Blast ahead of time, but we have enough now, and then we can just kind of... Now, it actually makes more sense to stay at level 3 here, because you can't quite get everything that you need. Yeah, we're not going to quite get it out. We might be able to get enough enemies. Nope, not quite, but that's alright. If you go just fast enough, you can actually keep the Chaos Boost up for long enough. Shadow's fast one looks cool too. And we get the boost right back out again. And you just hold down the button and you can warp to enemies. Love to see how it is. And then, you know, you've got spin dash momentum, you're just rolling downhill. That's important. We don't have that. You can just flawlessly go into light dash as well. And then we get Chaos Boost level 3 out. And then we get here, we can just kind of... You get the energy right back just because there's so many enemies. And now we're good. Remove the inhibitor rings. We don't lose any energy now for Chaos Blast. It even stalls it, so we're at an advantage doing that. So we can just come in here. But it's probably easier to take him out there. But then, you know, hit that guy. There's going to be a bunch of enemies. Get the Chaos Blast out. Get rid of all of them. Get Spin Dash Leap going. All those one-hit KOs. You love to see it. And then... Oh. And look at that. We kept the energy up. I don't know why we're dropping frames. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, that's the thing. It's like, that one's not really as... The speedrun strats are more in just getting through the enemies as quickly as possible, and then using that to your advantage. We already have like 50,000 just for the points, so you're going to be getting an S rank. And just, of course, the aesthetic of it feels so great, but it just genuinely feels good to just run through all the enemies like that and like use that as speedrun strats and everything. But to just chain that together, it's like in early stages you're not going to be wanting to use Shadow's super form as much. You just want to use that Chaos Boost level 3 because there aren't enough enemies to chain together to keep full power Chaos Boost going. When you get to later levels, such as like Radical Train, Aquatic, well, not necessarily Radical Train. It can work in Flame Core. Radical Train, there is a way to get it out, but it's so short that it's whatever. Aquatic Base, you're going to be using it. Wave Ocean, and of course Dusty Desert too. Although it's a bit trickier to do it in Dusty Desert. But yeah, you know, just all the refinements that you see, it all means so much. And all that you're going to be seeing with just a bunch of the different levels. Like I can show you Aquatic Base too with Sonic. And like with Kingdom Valley, there's like another skip that I wanted to like try. It won't be like a practical speedrun thing, but I was kind of curious to see if I could pull it off. More like max power purple gem into white gem strats. But like with Aquatic Base, we won't run the whole thing since we just kind of ran it, but the strat here to like, you know, get Sonic to like max power, you guys have already seen it. my recommendation, if any of you love momentum, you'd love to see momentum here. But, you know, get it out quickly.
Security's tight. Be careful.
Just kind of thread the needle there. You're already at max power. Get to yellow gem. Start building that power up.
Who knew that Eggman's base would be here?
This used to be a Soliana laboratory. It looks like it was really advanced.
Get the shield out. Then you can just tank some hits, and look at that, it's already at max power. Now you see a bunch of enemies surrounding you here. You switch back to your green gem. This was before Supersonic. Boom, get rid of them all. Do it again. This used to have enough range to take both of these guys out. Just get rid of this guy. It has a hitbox that ascends above, so you'll love to see that too. But yeah, we already have enough for Supersonic, so we can just bring him out right now. And you also, you can use a lot of different gems here. Like, you can use Sky to, like, get over some tricky areas. Purple works really well, too. But let me show, like, another speedrun strat in Kingdom Valley that I've been seeing Stelmo use. And, of course, like, the in-game cutscenes mid-level, too. Like this. This is amazing. Looks so clean. And it just transitions naturally. Like, what more do you want, man? And this is like where the blue gem comes in handy. Because, you know, you're losing speed here. Well, you don't lose as much, I guess, but... So anyway, you can use the blue gem to boost along that if you were, like, ever, like, losing speed and stuff. Spin leap will get me across here. Already we almost have enough for Supersonic. And then, like with Silver Section. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I forgot that this wasn't transformed. Yeah, it's still like a glitch in this version, where like the right trigger will just, if you're using like PS4 and stuff, the right trigger will just activate. Anyway, you could go that way, or you could kind of. Let me just bring this box over here. You just come over here. And then you get there with just enough. Now I think you can actually make that too. Literally just enough. It's a little bit scary, but it's good to try those strats because you can skip a lot of the level. And then shock, pick them up, and then throw them. Or you could use the projectile as well. But like you have just so many combat options that it's okay that Silver doesn't have like that spin jump. You need that on Sonic though. You need that on like most of the base characters because that's practical.
I'll take care of all of you.
And with this guy, projectile's probably best. And you can just pick him up and throw him at the end. Projectile's kind of like the stun weekend. I think there was actually a hidden area that I forgot to look at the Silver section, but anyway.
Hey, not bad.
You just kind of dash over here. And you're just good to go. There's a risk you can take to get a 1 up there. Yeah, we have enough for the lead. Wait, I don't think I want to go super here. I think I actually want to hold on to my shield. Yeah, I think we want to actually get purple gem out. And given that, I'm actually going to try to get the invincible and get back on the way. Be able to like use purple gem and white gem strats to make it work for you. One more time. Yeah, that's really, really hard to land. But anyway, what you'd want to... I'm not going to try it again. But what you want to do for that speedrun strat is basically land on that rope, and then there's like some stuff you do where you can like, I think just triple jump dash, and I already think I have like the incorrect, because we don't even have straight jump dash, so I probably couldn't land it. But you gotta just like do some jump dash strats over to that pillar in front of me. There's like another pillar you can jump on beyond that. That's like past the scripted section, and then there's like one more pillar where you can like skip an enemy section. So it's really cool to like see how like the wide variety of moves that Sonic has can be used for speedrun as well as just a fun playthrough. It just feels good. But anyway, it has gotten pretty late here, and I've been streaming for a long time, so I think I'm going to wrap this up and refine this video. But I'll conclude with this, guys. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, when you look at Project 06, when you look at like how it was inspired, you know, it took heavy inspiration from the adventure formula. When you just look at how much love, care, and attention was put into this, as well as a bunch of other incredible Sonic games that that fans have made, and of course that inspired us initially over the years. It's not like longtime Sonic fans have hatred for Sonic now. We'll always be Sonic fans. We're just concerned with the direction Sega's taking it. So just the overall feel that the adventure formula had, and the significance that P-06 has, that shows that there are fans out there who still believe that this formula always was the right one, the correct one for 3D Sonic, the genuine correct one. It's like it means a lot, and it's something that we need to actively be talking about with regard to the future of Sonic, because the truth of the matter is fans can carry this franchise, but at the end of the day, we still want Sega to respond and say, yeah, we hear you, and you know, we're not going to keep making a meme of this franchise. We're going to actually make you guys a good game because you've been carrying us this whole time. I'm glad we can freely make fan games, but at some point Sega needs to like actually pick it up and show that they're listening to the fans, because why do you think we're still talking about this, you know? Anyway, admittedly, why don't we conclude with one more run on what should we run? What should we run? Well, I suppose we'll run Flame Core while we talk about like story and voice actors, just to conclude this video. And ultimately, what I have to say about story and voice actors in Sonic games is just like Sonic has some fun and gets entertained on adventures like this, but you could tell like with the voice acting guidance and direction, he was taking, like they designed Sonic to be this character that took things seriously with some mild jokes to kind of lighten the mood. And unfortunately, with like, you know, the way things are currently in the current cast of characters, we haven't seen that. I've heard Ian Flynn is going to be doing some work. I think that's confirmed that Ian Flynn is in fact going to be writing the story for Frontiers. I just hope they allow him to actually like write that story, because, you know, having written for like the Archie comics as well as now the IDW ones as well, Like, people like his stories, so I hope they let him do his thing.
This bridge is gonna collapse any minute.
Because we need that kind of a story. Genuinely, we do.
Whoa, that's not a nice welcome.
But, you know, it's not just the story that needs to be good, it's the gameplay as well.
Piece of cake, no sweat.
And I just hope that SEGA is ready to actually pair a good story with good gameplay again.
It's raining fire.
Because the games back in 2006, you know, 91 to 2006, like, they weren't jokes. And, you know, I don't understand how they can genuinely expect us to take the current Sonic games the way they have been making them seriously. Like, they're promising a good Sonic game next, but, you know, I'll see it when I believe it, you know? It's like, I want to believe, but I want to see them, you know, they need to prove themselves. Naturally, we're going to be, you know, running Frontiers, but for purposes of review first, before we focus on praise. Because the thing is, we need to genuinely review this game. I've said for a long time that if they genuinely can't pull off a good Sonic game anymore, then the fans have been carrying. And what that means is they need to essentially give this franchise to the fans. It doesn't mean that SEGA no longer owns Sonic. It means that fans can partner more easily with Sonic, have opportunities to earn as a result of projects like this. I know Chaos doesn't want to earn from this game, but it doesn't matter. Like, he should, you know, be allowed to earn from making something this amazing. He should be able to partner with SEGA and, you know, have the freedom to work with his team the way that he seems practical, and they have, like, primarily creative freedom. They can't give him entire creative freedom, but just the idea that the fans are, you know, with their teams are in charge of the games, and that they're just able to make the games that that are, like, by fans for fans, and not just with, like, 2D with Mania, but with the 3D as well, because we need that. I guess that was my fault. Oh, okay. Whoa. I flew today. That's alright.
Thank you, Knuckles.
Okay. I tried to style a little bit and ended up losing some rings, but that's okay. Oh, that was interesting. Oop. I'm trying to get Super Sonic, guys, I'm sorry. Oh man, well that's okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. He still got the S rank. Anyway, I trailed off a bit, so I think... excuse me. Guys, ultimately, I think what I'm trying to say is that really, you know, we've talked about it before. We've talked about the importance of the adventure formula, but it needs to come back because these weren't bad games. Having them in fully 3D, having the practicality of the movesets, all the variety you have, it's good for casual play, fun play, competitive play, speedrunning play. There's so much variety, and you're so restricted when you're stuck with like the modern games. So I know fans will always carry this franchise. I know I'll always be a Sonic fan, but please, Sega, I can't stress it enough, and I think a lot of us are saying this too. The 90s and 2000s kids, we're the ones who are actually keeping you guys alive. We're the ones who are like your most loyal consumers. And we're hoping that as a result, you guys can see that and actually make us a Sonic game that's up to this kind of standard with this much content and replay value. That's an official Sonic game. Because like while the fans making it, it's great. It's like it doesn't really matter how we get it, and I'm not complaining. But honestly, it would just be good if Sega themselves genuinely acknowledged it. I suppose you could just call that the plea of a fan. I'm still skeptical, but I'm still holding out hope. I think Frontiers has potential, and we'll see where it goes. Anyway, that'll do it for now, guys. Sorry if I rambled a bit and the stream was seemed a bit scattered at times, but I hope it got the message across, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing more P-06 gameplay. You know I always enjoy coming back to this and experimenting a bit and just playing around with it more because, you know, I wasn't sure you guys wanted to see more of it. I thought I'd done everything that I needed to, but honestly, I'm always down for some more P-06 and count on us streaming the Silver gameplay when it releases, of course. I will say that while this was a fun video, it's not the 500 sub special. Tune in on Hedgehog Day, which is to Twitch on here on Hedgehog Day, which is like this February 2nd, because of the meme Hedgehog Day. It's like Groundhog Day, but they did that one advertising thing for Sonic. You know, fans will get that one. But yeah, Hedgehog Day, February 2nd. Tune in then. We're going to be running it then, and I can't spoil it, but if you liked this stream, if you like this video, you're gonna love what comes next. I've been planning 500 subs for a long time, and I think you guys are genuinely going to enjoy what's coming next. Other than that, tune in on the 30th, not to my channel, but I think it's Protagonist hosting it. So yeah, tune into the Real Protagonist for the World Grand Prix qualifiers. I'll be competing in that. Definitely do not want to miss that. But other than that, I will see you guys on Hedgehog Day. It's Lightning Thunderbolt. Thank you for your time. Hope I got the message across, and I hope this drop of water in the massive ocean of voices calling for what the ideal Sonic game is gets the point across, because we honestly need more content discussing the importance of the adventure formula and how much P-06 really gets that. So I'm exhausted. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for watching. 500 sub special coming soon. And until next time, as always, keep on staying way past cool.